Hey, welcome to the 2017 Race for World Championship Series map pool quick looks for each of the 7 maps we will be using this year. Today we have Precession, a map made by Arahpthos. The map starts out with the standard spawn trough that leads directly onto the winter-themed spawn area. There are a few basic supply chests scattered throughout the lane, as well as an important efficiency shovel in the trees. After a small fence barricade, we have a chasm which serves as our first choke point. Inside the chasm we have the Christmas Caverns, which is the main resource area. These caverns are dark and can be home to various mobs, and they are open to PvP pressure from the other team. However, conquering these caverns will reward teams with the best gear on the map. Crossing the chasm on the surface, we make our way into the spring area. After the small river, mixed among the cherry blossom trees, we can find Arahpthos, which is the home of the first wool. This PvE wool is home to various mobs, most notably hordes of spiders, giving the dungeon its name. While there is a small section that's open to PvP pressure, mobs are going to be the main challenge standing between players and the lime wool located inside the giant spider's mouth at the end. Players are also rewarded with Arachnopocalypse, a pair of Bane of Arthropods and silk-touched shears. Moving past Arahpthos, we have a small house with some basic supplies and a giant obsidian volcano. The volcano is not a great choke point because of the mostly secure path along the back of the mountain. However, the peak of the volcano contains the entrance to Infernal Variants, the second wool on the map. This dungeon is a good mix of a PvP wool and a PvE wool, containing various spawners scattered along the way, while also being open to PvP pressure throughout the majority of the dungeon. Players must battle mobs and the opposing team while trying to navigate the lava pools. Taking an alternative route on the middle level will lead you to a level 2 Boombox, which contains the majority of the TNT supplies on the map. Completing this dungeon successfully will reward players with the yellow wool, as well as a nice fire resistance potion for some extra security for the journey out of the dungeon. Back on the surface, after the volcano, we have a nice autumn area. There are various supply chests scattered throughout the lane, as well as a handy level 2 team box, which contains some food, armor, blocks, and other basic supplies. If we head inside the massive tree, we can find chests filled to the brim with bows and arrows. At the top, we have a level 1 boombox, which contains a small amount of TNT supplies. At the end of the lane, we encounter Fallen Leaves, which is home to the third wool of the map. This dungeon requires players to make their way across platforms hanging over the void, some of which containing spawners. The threat of getting knocked into the void is prevalent throughout the entire dungeon. There is a level 3 boombox which contains some sweet tunes, as well as some note blocks to make your journey across the void a little easier. Players must make it to the end to obtain the orange wool, and are also rewarded with an ender pearl for their troubles. Once we have all 3 wools, we must head back to the spring area to find the victory monument in the sky. The ender pearl from Fallen Leaves can be a handy tool for getting up here, however standard pillars, ladders, staircases, and Icarus cannons can be just as successful. Once we bring the 3 wools here, we can place them on the monument and claim our victory. This has been a brief and quick look at Precession. Click here to watch our previous map tour of Tunnel Vision by last username iTruthful, 5th Way Man Freckle Ears, or click here to go to the playlist containing all of the maps for the 2017 Race for World Championship Series. Stay tuned for a map tour of the next map.